Oh.
The DORK Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK Podcast. Keefe Davey. It's the DORK Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag DORK. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Rick Rude Von Dick Dude. He is Davey Deep Dick. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
Or am I? Or do I sound normal tonight?
He sounds
still bad. It has to do with the connection. It has to be the connection because my shit's fine.
That of course.
I don't know. No, and no rhyme or reason to it. I know we've said this before, but honestly, I came on tonight and I'm like, how do I sound? And you were so disappointed that I actually sound normal.
Because the Yellowjackets season 1 episode was the first ever Davey Deep Dick episode 281. You can go back and watch it if you need a chuckle. You can go back and watch it on YouTube or listen to it on the podcast. So I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. They're like, Yellowjackets season 2 probably should also do it, but didn't happen. Turn it on same way you normally do. Sounded fine.
And I don't, even if I wanted to make it that way, I don't know how to do it.
Right. We don't know what the setting.
I don't know what the fucking deal is with this thing, but
well, there's no easy way to say this, Rob. But would you like an update on my ball sack?
Oh my god, yeah. Talk to me about it.
It looks like it got stuck in a garbage disposal.
Is it still bad?
It's a mess down there, dude. It's a fucking problem.
Real quick.
So I almost tweeted out a picture, and then I was like, nah, I probably shouldn't.
You should get like one of those really close ones and be like, what do you think this is right now?
Dude. Because it's not a great thing to look at anyway.
No. It looks like on the best day, it looks like a piece of like a wad of chewed gum.
Yeah. On it. Right.
Yeah.
On its best day, it's upsetting. So after it's been torn apart and fucked around with and then like try to like put back together hastily.
If anyone has never seen their own, picture this. You take an entire pouch of Big League Chew like you used to do in Little League, put it in your mouth like a big chaw, chew it up real nice, and there's still like some of the strainy parts. You didn't get to all of it. That plus hair.
Yeah, and now in my case, blood. So it's really dude, it's a nightmare. So in all seriousness, it's better today than it was a couple days ago, and like it is actually getting better. But it was to the point where a few days after, I was like, you can get on like the fucking portal or whatever, and I'm like emailing the doctor, or I'm messaging like the doctor and the nurse. Sure. And the nurse was like, would you be able to send a picture? I was at home at the time. I'm like, yep, click, boom, send. So here's what happened. So we had like
I can't believe you sent a pic to your nurse.
Yep. We had like a back and forth. We had like a little bit of a back and forth
a tete-a-tete
in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like, how's this? This is what's happening. And then she goes, would you mind sending a picture? I sent a picture. I didn't hear back from them for hours. And I said, I was telling Katie, I'm like, she probably got sick when she saw it.
She probably had to go home.
Yeah, she's like, I need a personal day. So anyway, it is getting better, but it's funny because we've gotten some messages from people that have gotten them, and pardon the pun, but it seems to be a mixed bag where more people had good experiences than not, but there are a few people that had some recovery time issues. So
talking to Shark about it, he talked about it like he got a vacation, like an unexpected vacation.
Yeah, it went fine for him.
Yeah.
And I saw him this weekend. I'm like, dude, did it fucking kill? And he's like, no.
He's like, no. He's like, I was up and walking around that day. A little bit of ice, but I'm fine. Yeah. I want to know what he did. It got it done.
I don't know.
Because that's my guy.
And listen, I'm not looking for sympathy from anybody.
No, and you're one of those people too that like you are careful with money.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think that this is a thing where you cut a corner. No pun intended.
No. So I like a while ago, I emailed my primary care doctor, who I've actually never met, because the one time in like the last 10 years I've gone to the doctor, like she wasn't even in that day. So I've never even met her. And I sent a thing and I was like, do you recommend anybody? And I don't even know if she recommended this guy or he just happened to be in the same like portal
network.
So like, all right, I'll go. Yeah, same network. So I'm like, all right, I'll go to him. And again, he might be good at it. I don't know, but at least with me, it was an issue.
I let me ask you this. So my primary care physician is one of my best childhood friends' wife.
Okay.
Now, besides the obvious, like she's kind of mean to me when it comes to my health. Do
I
you
think that's
prefer
good.
that?
Yeah.
Or do you prefer like you need to lose weight?
Brutal honesty.
Like you absolutely 100%
Yeah,
need to
don't
lose weight.
sugarcoat it. Like, don't
Yeah.
fuck around. Like, this is serious. This is your
Like she's no
this is your
nonsense
body.
anyway.
Yeah.
But then professionally, it's like a different animal.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. No, I like it. All right, that's enough about my ball sack. Let's get to some of this.
This week in Dork. Yeah.
All right, Tuesday, May 30th. I Think You Should Leave season 3 hits Netflix. Couldn't be more excited about anything else in the world. They released a trailer last week, which we tweeted out at Dork Podcast, and it's kind of like a quick reel, and it does show you some of the actors that are new to the series and also a couple that are returning to the series. The ones that jumped out to me are Fred Armisen,
Yep.
Tim Meadows, and Biff Whiff. And sadly, some bad news about Biff Whiff. He has cancer, and right now I believe there's a GoFundMe you could follow. I think it was either Tim Robinson might have reposted it, and a few other people. You could find it pretty easily on there. But our guy Biff Whiff could use your help. So,
And he needs something astronomical. I think it's like $300,000 or something like that for
What are we,
cancer
2
treatment.
years old? I've seen every cock on the planet.
the guy's a treasure. So
Absolute treasure. And you, speaking of national treasures too, you missed Patty Henderson is on there as well.
Yeah, she's back. Yeah.
She's back,
So
yeah.
every season, and they've all been good. She's had some of the best ones so far. So I am pumped. One question we had going back to season 2, and the answer ended up being no. But will there be any return characters? It doesn't
What
seem
if-
like something that he does, but I would love. There's so many of them could easily get worked back into another sketch.
I think I would love to see, was it Carmine Laguzio?
Yeah.
Try it again, but like another character.
Everything's upside down with Carmine Laguzio. Yeah, that
Like I would love to see him try to do another sketch that just falls flat.
that one would be, I would think, doable for sure.
Too much fucking shit on me. I can't breathe.
So, like, laugh out loud funny every single time.
Every time.
Any of these little fuckers ever pop out of the fucking wall and say, fuck, there's a horse cock in my room or a donkey dick?
There's something inherently funny. I watched season 2. You can blow through the entire season in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think so, right? Because it's what, six times 16 roughly. And yeah.
Yeah. And what always struck, I love that character, and I love the idea that he went there by himself to make friends.
Yeah.
And his mom picks him up, was like, "Did you make any friends?" And he's like, "Not really."
No, not really. No, the other great thing about that on rewatch is how upset he gets when the other characters don't swear, or the other people in the room don't swear, or like they're not using it like they should be able. Like, you can swear, like, why aren't you swearing? So here's my question: is next week we could do it? Is that too quick of a turnaround? Because I know multiple viewings help with, and not that you can't watch it multiple times between now and Sunday, but our ranking, and not that our rankings are the be all end all anyway, but that's how we've done the last 2 season breakdowns. And it's fluid. I mean, the next day it could change. But do we need a second whole week, you think? Because we could do it the week after, because the Flash doesn't come out for 3 weeks. So I don't know. It's something
But still, I just feel like
we should
if
get.
you're listening to this podcast,
Yeah, you're waiting for it.
you're waiting. This is one you kind of wait for.
Yeah.
I think. Am I crazy in saying that? Like people will watch it with us. And again,
No.
you can watch this. If it's the same as it usually is, it'll be done in 2 hours. It's like watching a movie.
Yeah, so you could watch it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then we do the thing
Right.
Sunday. You've already seen it 3 times.
Like I feel like something like The Bear, which is like 10-hour-long episodes. We're gonna have to give that a couple weeks. It's
Are
10.
they
Is it 10
hour?
episodes?
They
They're
might
like
be
45
half of
minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
But like I feel like that one, you got to give that one like 2 weeks. I think you should leave. You can do that. You can do that in a week, easy. Out the door.
I know. I fucking can't wait, man. So I ended up coming around on season 2 might be better than 1, but 1 might be more top heavy. I don't know. You go back and forth on it. I think episode 1 of season 2 is pound for pound the best thing they did. But
I'm going to look again because I have one that I say pound for pound is the best one, and it's not that one. Hang on, let me just check.
yeah,
But so you say see with okay, tell me what's in that one.
Ghost Tour,
Yep.
Everything's Upside Down with Carmine Laguzio, Coffin Flop, and Little Buff Boys, I believe.
I will counter that with.
I believe that's on the first one. Don't quote me. I remember saying that was so strong.
With sorry, season 2.
Ahead.
Episode
and then
3.
Which one was
which
that?
is Professor Uribe.
Yeah.
The Carver hot dog vacuum. Crashmore. And the hat in court. Brian's hat.
Fucking Brian's hat is really good.
Those are, I think that's my favorite episode, like soup to nuts.
Yeah.
He didn't say shit, dude. He didn't say shit. And then Brian started crying. My don't
so the first one is the guy choking on the hot dog. That's how the season 2 starts.
Yes.
Then it is Carmine Laguzio, Carl Havoc. Then it's Little Buff Boys. Then it's Ghost Tour.
Yeah.
So Coffin Flop's not till later. But anyway, that one's pretty fucking good. But I also like shit my pants for.
I thought Coffin Flop was season 1.
No, Coffin Flop was 2.
Oh,
I believe it was. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. Show's just so good. 6.
You know which one oddly makes me laugh too is the Claire's like training video or like the you're about to get your ears pierced video.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so
It's a chunky.
Still gold.
Yeah, no, that one's pretty good. That one's lower on my list, but
The bones are their money, so are the worms. They pull your hair up, but not out to turn into a man and have another chance at life. But if they pull it out, they turn to bones.
that's top 5 for me both seasons.
Up but not out.
So good.
I know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you.
How does she have like some of the best lines out of like this whole show?
Tables. It's how I heat my house. So good.
Like, could it
Do a steering wheel that doesn't fly off while you're driving.
And then there's like sneaky deeper cuts like
Was that a toupee, you piece of shit?
nobody talks about that one. The wigs where you can get it and like gradually get smaller. So it's like
did they hire a gorilla to come rip your hair off if people like
worst case scenario.
Sweetie,
Yeah, honey.
the horse you're on has a huge penis.
Amazing. That's one of the worst ones, and yet you can still bring that to the table. So I cannot wait for that. So that is Tuesday, May 30th. And so likely this will be Sunday. We'll do it. So we'll do the same thing. We'll rank them, kick it around, and can't wait. Big week, both for TV shows wrapping up as well as this upcoming week shows starting. In addition, I think you should leave. So wrapping up was Barry, the season and series finale last night. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I didn't, but I had. Now that it's a week removed, I can say only because this is honest to God. Like I had so much going on this weekend, I forgot that yesterday was Sunday. I keep thinking today's Sunday. It's not. So I missed it. But the penultimate episode was my first like belly laugh when NoHo Hank and the other guy shot the rocket at the house and missed. It's like this big buildup. You see it, and then it just like curves away. It's like, dude, put it in the next one. He's like, we only bought one. You said the budget. We don't have like those are expensive. So when it missed the house, and then like him chasing him like down the street.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, they do. It's like the action scenes are very like cartoonish. It's like a lot of like Wile E. Coyote type shit in that show, but it's intense.
How did it end? Did it end okay? You happy with it? You don't have to tell me much, but
I'm not going to tell you much. I liked the season very much. I think it was a pretty good ending. We talked about 3 episodes ago, one of the things they decided to do. So I look forward to talking about it with you. I think there's stuff to unpack, but overall, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, good show.
All right. Succession. I know you don't watch it, but that was also the series finale. Kind of amazing on the same night on HBO. Succession and Barry back to back. Two of their great shows, both calling it a career. This was a 6 out of 6 season. I thought the ending was good. There was a couple of parts that I was like, I don't know.
I didn't read the whole article, but like you know how you go on Twitter and like there's and someone was like, it was kind of a mess like for like 2 episodes, but then it found its thing again. Like
I think it was like it's an appropriate ending, is what I would say for people that haven't watched it yet. I don't want to give too much of it away, but really, really strong show, really good. Dave is going to end this week. So this Wednesday, Dave is going to be done. This show's been rocking a 6 out of 6.
And Gato was like, I can't wait. He's like, this is going to blow your minds. Like the season finale is going to blow your minds. So he never lies.
And not because he doesn't like us and he has created a rivalry with us. I think his story arc is the worst of all the characters this season.
I think so. I think it's kind of, I mean, the whole show is ridiculous, but it's silly. Like, I don't think you needed that.
No, I like the stuff with Dave a whole lot better. And the stuff with Mike. Mike might be my favorite character now. Mike's killing it. So that's Dave. A couple of shows that are like midway through are Silo and From. Silo started out right as like a standalone episode. First 3 episodes, I was like, you might want to get in on this. And the last 2, I'm like, all right, maybe knocking a little wind out of my old sails. But if anybody else is watching Silo, I'm curious, what do you guys think of it? Because I like it. I loved it after 3. I like it after 5. And then From, I've mentioned being like one of those shows where I just at this point want to see how they pull it off, like what they're going to say the deal is. 2 other shows that are coming out this week, so set your DVRs. Season 16 of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They're going to debut, I believe, with a double episode like they've done before. And then how about this? Dark Side of the Ring, season 4.
So you tweeted this out today. I had no idea that this was coming. I thought that show was done.
I thought it was done too. And then all of a sudden, it's funny because my DVR, when you set it for like record series,
new episodes,
it like popped up on my thing being like, this week you're going to be recording Dark Side. I'm like, hell yeah. And so the first one is going to be about Chris Candido, who was also Skip in the Body Donnas and Sonny, because they were a real life couple when they were super young. They came to the WWF at the time, and then they obviously broke up. She was with Shawn Michaels and maybe some others. And so that's the first one. Then Magnum TA, then Adrian Adonis, Doink the Clown, Junkyard Dog, Marty Jannetty, Bam Bam Bigelow, Abdullah the Butcher, WCW Bash at the Beach 2000, and the Graham Family. So I'm all in.
Why does Bash at the Beach 2000? Why does that ring a bell? Like what went on with that?
Is that the one where Hulk Hogan would not? Let me double check.
Well, they said it was the last pay-per-view ever by WCW.
Oh, there you go. Then that's what it was.
It's the last very last pay-per-view. Yeah.
When what's his name bought it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Controversy. Yeah, Hollywood Hogan, head of creative, Vince Russo.
Yeah. So then
win against Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett. Goldberg beat Kevin Nash. Hulk Hogan beat Jeff Jarrett in a minute. Nice.
In a minute, it was like all that build up, and
some of the WCW matches were just trash back then. Holy smokes, really bad. But all right, let's get to this. Oop, what the fuck? Does this even work anymore?
It's a chunky.
That's right, folks. It's Should I Have Bought This? Brought to you by 47 Brand. Go to 47brand.com. Enter the promo code #DORK at checkout for 25% off your entire order. And Rye, why don't you tell the people that are listening and not watching on YouTube what we got here?
So we have the new PlayStation Project Q. Just kidding. This is a what's called a PlayStation. It's called a backbone. So like what you do is like this extends. It looks like a PlayStation controller, but what it extends, it'll extend out and hold your mobile device, and you can use it as basically a mobile PlayStation. So anything that's basically on your
Yeah.
PlayStation that you can play remotely, or you can stream. You can play with your phone, believe it or not.
Yeah, so this one comes in from Cody. He says, "Hey guys, love the podcast. Appreciate your perspective on all things dork. This day last year lined up with a live show at Idle Hands on my birthday. I was stoked to get to meet you guys and watch the live show. For my should I have bought this? Last week I went to GameStop originally to buy a replacement Joy-Con, but they were out of stock. And while the cashier was asking if I would want to order them, noticed this PlayStation Backbone controller for the iOS. Being extremely impulsive and too impatient to leave the store without a tangible purchase that I could use immediately, I pivoted and bought the Backbone. Instagram had been advertising these nonstop in my feed, and I already knew its capabilities as essentially functioning like a PS Vita, where in the same Wi-Fi as your PS4 or PS5, you could remote play your entire library of the games, as well as be used as an iPhone-compatible controller for mobile gaming on your iOS game that enables a controller option. After a couple YouTube videos, I saw a great tutorial on how you could legally use it on iOS emulators and ROMs of games that you own on older systems. Pretty streamlined and straightforward through your phone. So with a blank price point, it seems a little steep, but after a couple hours of gameplay and seeing how convenient and quality of the device, featuring touch-sensitive triggers, being able to play any PS4 or PS5 in a handheld mode, if like last night I wanted to watch the Celtics blow doors on my TV and play PlayStation on the Backbone itself, worth it to me. I could play blah, 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 blah. Just wanted to see what you guys think. Thanks again for providing a fun and informative pod that helps sift through the copious amounts of shows, comics, and movies for what is worth the investment to watch and read. All right. What do you think it costs? And then what do you think of the purchase?
See, I've actually looked into one of these things. So this is actually cheating. So I actually know how much this thing costs.
Okay.
But I will talk to you why I think this is a solid purchase for what I was about to talk in the video game minute. So as you know, PlayStation, their state of play was last week. And one of the things they announced was a standalone handheld player with an 8-inch screen by PlayStation, which you can, and it's a little bit more beefy than the Backbone insofar as long as something is downloaded on your hard drive, you will also be able to stream it on this Project Q. And I'm guessing that will be like $300, $200. Like, I don't know. But do you want me to lie and tell you I don't know how much this costs? Or
Tell me exactly how much you think it costs.
It costs like $100. Like, it's like $99.99.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly how much it costs.
Yeah.
All right. So should Cody have bought this in your mind?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, if you're not going to buy a Project Q, if you're not going to buy like that standalone handheld PlayStation thing, like, this is a completely viable option. It's not Vita, but it's a completely viable option.
Yeah.
The only downside of this is you actually have to be on the same Wi-Fi. I think Project Q, you don't. But like, as long as you're in the house,
right,
and you have strong Wi-Fi or strong internet connection, like, this thing is actually pretty awesome. And
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
So I
before
agree.
I forgot.
Yeah.
The idea you can also Jimmy rig it to play like other games, like emulate other games is a benefit too.
And I forgot to, like, the other day, because I usually if I ever play Switch, like when we ever play kart or whatever, I always play it on the TV on like the big screen. And the other day, Cece wanted to play and it wasn't charged, so we started playing it like on the handheld. And I'm like, I forgot how fucking cool the handheld is. Like,
it's really cool.
It's a good time, and you can, like you said, you can watch Celtics or sports, or especially sporting events that maybe you're not as interested in. You can like do two things at once. So yeah, I like that very much. So I'm in on that. Good purchase. And keep sending those bad boys in, dorkpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll answer the question if you should have bought it. Let's get to this.
It's time for Davey's video game minute, even if it takes more than a minute.
All right, Ryan. I know at least one thing that you have.
I do. So I just wanted to talk about the aforementioned PlayStation State of Play that happened last week. There's a lot of cool things that are happening in video games right now. So I think where we are with TV right now is almost like we're doing too much. I feel like video games this week are going to get to that point. So a lot of things happened at the PlayStation State of Play. I'll just list some highlight games for me that got announced. They're doing a Snake Eater, a Metal Gear Solid remake. I think they're calling it like Snake Eater Delta or something like that. It looks like a Delta. The Project Q, I talked about Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't know where anyone stands in these games anymore. They've been kind of hit or miss for me. I really did like Odyssey. I really liked Brotherhood. I really liked Black Flag 3, and then some of the other ones I wasn't really sold
Right.
on. But
Yeah.
especially what's the one in France?
Oh yeah.
That one, Unity? No, Unity was the that was
Wasn't
the
there
one
like
in
a
England.
Valhalla? Not Valhalla. There
Valhalla
was
was the most recent one. So like
Okay.
they're all over the place with these things, but
Yeah.
it looks kind of cool. Alan Wake 2, which is going to be a sleeper good game. I played the original Alan Wake, thought it was going to be like a Silent Hill, Resident Evil ripoff. Wound up being a great game on its own. Final Fantasy 16. The studio that developed Gris, Gris, that I played, that I really enjoyed. They have a new game out coming. Neva is coming out.
Okay.
Let's see, Dragon's Dogma 2, Marathon, which is a new Bungie game, I believe, which makes Destiny. They made Halo a long time ago. Street Fighter 6, which comes out this week. Phantom Blade Zero, which is like a samurai ninja game, which actually looks really cool. And Ghost Runner 2, which is Ghost Runner was one of my favorite games of last year. I don't think it made it to the Dorkies, but it was a really good game. But the big news is we got an extended trailer for Spider-Man 2. And this had some action. It had some reveals. It had some Easter eggs. It had some fun. It had a black suit, not on the person we thought it was going to be on. But there are some theories out there that we will get into now. So a bit of a deep dive. Peter, as you see right from the jump, you get the scene with Kraven the Hunter, which is an awesome. He's hunting human beings and killing them.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
And then it comes to his attention. One of his people hands him a thing. So he's chasing down. He's going to be chasing all of the, I guess you'd call them metahumans.
Yeah.
In New York. So you get Black Cat. In the trailer, you see Kurt Connors, who is the Lizard. You see people pop up on the screen. And one of them is actually Wraith, which, if people don't know, that is Yuri Watanabe's alter ego, the vigilante alter ego, she's the police chief in Spider-Man 1. So she's now gone rogue.
Like it.
But you see, it's like a bunch of others too. So that's cool. Kurt Connors looks awesome. They have the lizard skin that he's like shedding skin. He's getting bigger. So the whole thing, like, if you didn't play Miles Morales, and I guess this is a spoiler at this point, and I apologize, that Harry Osborn is being kept alive by this symbiote. He has this, Peter's been told he's in Europe. He's not. So my guess is that Peter, in an attempt to help Harry, got the symbiote on him. And now he's rushing. He's keeping, according to the trailer, he's keeping Kurt Connors safe because he's the only one who can help Harry.
Makes sense.
Right. So he's working with this thing in order to save Harry's life. So he's doing it for the right reasons, but with a little bit of an attitude on Peter Parker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's already starting to take hold of him.
I was going to say that symbiote, man, gets in you and forget it.
So the speculation with this is now that in Kraven's Last Hunt, the one we've read, is that Kraven actually becomes Spider-Man. After burying Peter Parker alive, he then says he's better at Spider-Man than everything and becomes Spider-Man, right? The symbiote then saves Peter. So I don't know if we're doing that, but also there's this other version that I wrote this down, Spider-Man life story. It's a retelling of Kraven's Last Hunt. And what happens in that one is that Peter gets out. He's buried alive again, gets out. And then Kraven, as distraught as he is, Kraven the Last Hunt ends in a very dark way. Right, with Kraven, right? I'm doing that. But in the very last frame, as he has the shotgun pointed at himself, the symbiote grabs the gun away from him. So there is a theory that Venom in this is actually Kraven.
Oh. All right.
So eventually that the suit is going to come off Peter and go on to Kraven.
I can't wait. That the first game was so good. We did a whole standalone episode just on the first game, not just the gameplay, but the story, the graphics, the Easter eggs, everything about it was so sick. And just the trailer for this. And this comes out in the fall. They didn't give you an exact date. They said fall. So
I think it's Thanksgiving,
September, October, maybe
right before Christmas.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Wingsuits too. I wrote down wingsuits.
Yeah.
Which is actually awesome. So both Peter and Miles sport the wings that actually work now. Which is great.
Yep.
This game's going to be tits.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Y'all ready for Bisque? You ready for the topic du jour? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the topic of the day. And today it is Yellowjackets Season 2. It's a Showtime show that ran for 9 episodes, which is odd because season 1 was 10 episodes, but regardless, 9 episodes. As we mentioned before, we did a standalone on season 1. It's episode 281. I gave it a 6 out of 6. Davey gave it a 5.5 out of 6. But we'll begin talking season 2 spoiler free as we do with all of our movie and TV reviews. Ryan, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Solid, yes.
Yes. I like the season very much. I love the show. I fucking love the show. We've
Love the
talked about it.
show, like the season.
Yeah. We've talked about it every week a little bit without trying to spoil it, but like we were both watching it weekly. We didn't wait till the end to binge it or anything like that. And I think I've gotten to the point now where, similar to Scream, I think I like Yellowjackets as much as anyone. Like, maybe not more than everybody, but nobody likes it more than me, would be my point. Like, I'm not
there
saying
are people who like
I
it just as much as you, but there's no one who likes it more than you.
You can only go up to a certain level of liking it.
Right.
And that's where I'm at. So you can't go over that. You can like it equally.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love the show. I love the whole thing about it. You had mentioned when you were on the highly rated Rich Keefe show on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about how I like a spicy / sexy teen drama. I also like horror stuff. And this combines the two. Like this is in that wheelhouse. And the casting is off the charts. We talked about it a lot in season 1. And there's some new characters in season 2, but the holdovers are there, whether it be Christina Ricci or Juliette Lewis or whoever. Like, it is just so well done. I feel like the high school girls that are stranded versus like the modern day, just as compelling. Like it's not like there are other shows that do like flashbacks or do other storytelling, and you're always like, ugh, get back to like the part that I fucking care about.
Right.
I like both just as much. How do you feel about both?
It's interesting because, like you said, I mean, they do it so well. It's so well timed how they like pull you out of one to the other that the thing that they're talking about directly ties into something else. So it seems seamless. Like sometimes it does that and it seems forced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you'll and it'll be all in someone's mind. So there'll be this scene in the past, and then you have someone sitting looking, you know, like kind of staring at the floor, like in their thoughts, like remembering that. And they don't do that. It just seamlessly one into the other, which is really hard to do. But that speaks to the quality of the show's writing and the performances.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do feel like even though I'm sure these actors might not have even have met each other. I'm sure they did at some point, but
yeah,
you start to see like why they were cast in those younger roles because they kind of fit perfectly.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah,
they do a great job. And I like, as I was watching this season, and then if you go back and rewatch the first season, which were like immediately, I think I was told about that one, and I don't think I watched it weekly, or I was like maybe halfway, and then I binged the first like 5 and then caught up and watched the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna sound like a knock, and I guess it kind of is. It feels like every aspect of season 1, if you want to take story, horror, comedy, like whatever you want to say, is slightly better than in 2. Like like the straight up writing is definitely better in the first one than it is in the second one. There's a few things we'll get into spoilers that even I, as big a fan as there is of the show, would kind of eye roll a little bit. And other people that maybe don't like it as much as I do, I could see them kind of fucking really digging in on this and being like, come on, what the fuck?
Yeah, and there were some things, like you said, there were some storylines, like whole storylines where I was like, Jesus, this again?
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with the 6 or so main characters. It was actually secondary characters. I'm like, God damn it. Like, just to me, that slows everything down.
Because there's so much in there. They set up the coolest potential story. And I think it could still go there. Like, if there's a season 3, and I hope that I don't know if it's been picked up yet, but if there is a season 3, we talked last episode, or the season 1 episode, that the writers were hoping for like 5 seasons. And so let's hope they get there. Like, I think you could still rebound from some of the directions that you went into, but season 1 definitely set it up to a point where you're like, oh my God, you have all these different questions that still need to be answered. You have all these different directions that you could go down. And this season did some of that. It ignored a few things that you're like, why didn't you talk about it? And then it kind of like quickly wrapped up a few other things. So, I mean, I say all that to say I still really, really like the show. I think at the end of the year, we always have our 6 nominees for best show. It's going to be in the mix, but TV is so low. TV is the toughest. It's the most stacked division every single year. It's going to be tough. I have it probably now, but we're also only in May.
We're also in May, and again, I mean, depending how Dave ends, like, or the Bear is coming out, like in a couple weeks, and like, to me, it's a fringe top 6 show, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's right now, it's sitting like 4 or 5, but it could easily, if something good that we know is coming is as good. Like, I think you should leave season 3,
right?
The Bear, like, there's a lot of shows. It's always sunny.
Ahsoka Tano,
like
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, like all of those shows come out this year. So
that's true. All right, so unless there's something else, because there's a lot to get to in spoilers. So unless there's something else, what is your hashtag dork score for season 2 of Yellowjackets?
I'm going to give it 5 this season.
I'm going 5.5. And I would say the first season was like a rock hard 6. So even though 6 and 5.5 feels like there's not as much of a discrepancy, like the 6 broke the scale. Like that would have been like an 8. You know what I mean? So like this is a 5.5. Just because I'm thinking back to some of the other shows that I gave either a 5 to or a 5.5 to, and I think that's where it goes. You guys can let us know at Dork Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and you can email us dorkpodcast@gmail.com. Thoughts on season 2 of Yellowjackets. So yeah, we're both going half stone down from season 1. Both liked it, but just not quite as much. So let's get into all the stuff here.
Spoilers! 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 Here come the spoilers!
And it's funny to go back to season 1 or even just listen to our episode on season 1 and some of the questions that we had.
Or don't listen to that episode ever again.
Actually, yeah, you probably should go back and listen to the first one because there's a lot to like in that first one. So
I loved it.
That was literally Davey's reaction when I asked.
That was my reaction to season 1 of Yellowjackets.
I loved it.
So at that point, and it's funny to watch this entire season, at that point, we both assumed Lottie was alive, but we never saw adult Lottie in season 1.
Did you see her at the end? Did you
see
her at the very end?
I think I don't know if we knew it was her. Like, I think it was like assumed that it was like the cult of Lottie, and it was like the designed or like that fucking logo or whatever it is. Like you knew it was Lottie. And it's same with Van. Like we didn't know if Van survived. And that's like one of the fun parts of the show is like they give you clues and you're trying to put it all together. And you immediately see the 5 or so characters that we know survived.
Right.
The rest of it, every time they go to the flashback, you're like, any of the other ones could be dead. And then as they go, there's like the one, was it Lorelei, the girl that took the plane? So she died. And then there is Jackie, like at the end of season 1. Like that's one of the big moments of the whole series is Jackie dying. So now you're starting to like, and you knew she was dead anyway, but you were trying to figure out, all right, what's the deal here? And she's gone, but Van's alive. So that was a big reveal. But I know one of the theories people had was Van was going to be alive, but she was going to be working with Lottie. And that does not appear to be the case.
See, I have a theory. Would you like to know my theory now, or would you like to know?
Throw
We're into spoilers, right?
I got some stuff I want to hit on, but go ahead.
Who's pulling all the strings from somehow, some way from behind the scenes? Who's pulling all the strings and making all the shit happen? Coach Ben.
You think Coach Ben's still with us?
I think he's still with us. I think he got rescued and then disappeared and then went under like a different name.
All right, so Coach Ben bails on him, and we can get to that. That's at the end. The Coach Ben bails on him, sets the. But
he finds his little mystical cavern there.
Yeah, found a place to stay because Javi survived for so long, so he found that. But one of the things I keep going back to, and this was early in season 1, they have a moment where they're on a hunt, and that becomes a big part of this season. But they're on a hunt; they're chasing down. And there's like a big thing at this point. They're all wearing the mask, like they're all in on it because they're just trying to survive. They're there for 19 months, for God's sake. So they're just trying to survive. And I believe at last count, there was 8 of them in headdresses.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like the latest body that was in like the spike pit and they were going to fucking eat. Right.
Yep.
So if there's 8 of them, we know that Shauna, Thaisa, Van, Natalie, Misty, Lottie,
There's
Travis.
6. Yeah.
Travis survives and then later dies, right?
Mhm.
That's 7 right there. So, and then to your point, maybe Coach isn't in the group. Maybe Coach is gone and never comes back. Or they fucking eat him too. Who knows?
Right.
But now you're trying to figure it out. And I don't even know the names of all these characters, but like you got the girl that had like the pet mouse.
Mary.
You got,
Is it Mary?
oh, it might
No,
be.
that's no, she has it. I forget her name, but yeah.
Then there's the one that
her.
was like wearing like the pink hat. There's another one
Yep.
like kind of like probably the most attractive one. And then there's like another couple of, so they're gonna start to get got at some point. But that's what I keep
Start
going
pulling
back.
that card.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god. What a fucking way to go.
Yep.
The fucking Queen of Hearts. And then it's on. Go back to the questions from season 1. One of the questions too, it was gonna be morbid, but the show's morbid, was what is gonna happen to Shauna's baby?
And I'm glad they went the way that they did, but that was not without some fever dreams of them. We were told, the writers were like, they're not going to eat the baby, don't worry. Which they didn't.
No.
But they kind of did.
So what happened was probably the best possible
case
outcome.
Yeah.
Because
as sad as that is, that's the best.
It's it's so fucked up. But thinking about it too, and like as the show in season 1 is going through it, and you're just like, it's one of those things similar to A Quiet Place. And one of the reasons why I roll my eyes at fucking John Krasinski and Emily Blunt having a kid during Quiet Place was like this. And not that by any means Shauna wanted to, but I'm saying you're in a situation like this, and you yourself don't have any food, and now you're bringing a baby into this. You're like, so what the fuck's gonna happen? Like all these girls are starving. Right. And freezing and whatever else. And so, and then you're like, gross, like they're gonna fucking eat it. Like one of them's gonna eat it. And then thank Christ that didn't happen. Although you really see, and Shauna's so good. Like I think both versions of Shauna are awesome, but the fact that she is so cold-blooded in the high school times, like she is morphed into that character, and probably what happened to her there kind of was a big imprint on that.
Yeah.
But she's the one that's like, I'll fucking prepare the bodies. Like I'll prepare the human bodies for us to fucking eat.
And what I love is that when you meet Shauna in the original, the first season, like she's the one who's kind of, you think she's not rich, or she's not like, she's just the most normal.
Yeah.
And that she has like has her shit together, and it's kind of like her life isn't a mess. Right. Because like Thaisa's, while she's successful, but her personal life is kind of a mess. Nat is kind of a mess. Like, and you see Shauna as like this self-possessed. She's very like put together, and then you come to realize that she's the fucking biggest psycho out of all of them.
Yeah, yeah. She definitely looks like almost boring. Like her life is boring compared to all the other ones.
But that's like most serial killers are like that.
Yeah,
where outwardly like their life is the most normal, right?
Dude, I love the scenes where she's a badass in present day, because like she wouldn't be phased by anything. Like think of the stuff that she did there. And like,
yeah.
And so her husband, Jeff, becomes like the main source of comedy in this whole season.
And he was like this, big shot in high school. And now he's like just a dope. But I thought him and his buddy.
Yeah.
Who they put through the
fucking
I forget his friend's name, but
jerking off.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, he's but fucking Jeff is great. And then like when Jeff is talking to the scene at the end where he's talking to Callie, his daughter, and he's like, well, like, yeah, your mom, like, she like took a gun. She's like, you have a gun? She's like, well, no, mom took it off of like a carjacker. And she's like, wait, what the fuck happened? It's like she just doesn't give a shit, which is amazing. I love it. We still don't know how they get rescued. Like that's still a mystery question. Like we know it's 19 months because they've referenced that, I think in season 1, not in the season, but and we know that if Shauna like just got pregnant before they left, we got to be 9 months, right? Or whatever. We got to be at the halfway point.
Yeah, you got to figure if they're out there. What do you say, 19 months?
Yeah.
So they got to do. Almost. They got there in the summer.
Well, I probably like late spring, right? Because it was a soccer tournament.
late spring, and then it got. So
Or no,
you got to figure.
no. If it's soccer, it'd be fall, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So they do. Yeah. Or like, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Well, they're
Some
also
people,
they're also in Canada, so who the fuck knows? The weather,
right?
could be
And
really
so I don't know. Yeah, I mean the weather. That weather, if you're there, goes until like fucking April, right?
yeah. But I'm saying like if she delivered a baby, and even if she delivered a little early, that's at least
Mhm.
7-8 months that they've been there. So storytelling wise, they have another like 9-10 months.
Another year, maybe another year. Because I know, and there's one line where she said that first summer, where I think Shauna was saying, "Oh, remember that first summer." So they're there.
Okay.
They're going to be there for like another summer.
Whew.
Yeah.
Fucked up. And yeah, and then so you start looking around and you're like, all right, they got at least, I think by my count, like 3, 4, 5 more people they can eat.
Well, once the ground, then they got to start. Okay, I think maybe do they taper that off, or do they keep thinking like the wilderness needs what it needs, and we got to give
The
it what it
wilderness needs what it needs, probably. No, but they don't just let the wilderness kill people, because we've seen them hunting down, and they even did it in the modern day too.
Well,
Present day.
don't remember too. Who's the girl that Misty pushed off the cliff? Who
Misty
they could
killed
find her? She's preserved.
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. So Misty's got a lot of kills under her belt.
Yeah.
Every time there's a cannibalism story, I always think of the Kelsey Grammer when he was on SNL on Delicious
Gorp.
Dish, and he's like, you and a bunch of friends start hiking a mountain. That's when you hit into an avalanche and you're stranded up there. And then he's like, and then you pull straws to see who's not coming down the mountain, and you lower yourself to cheating. And that's when your best buddy Carl from high school gets picked. He's like, so then you end up often like, just to survive, you have to eat Carl. And he's like, and when no one's looking, you sneak a little extra Carl. He goes, and then for the remainder of the time, you survive on GORK, granola, oatmeal, raisins, and Carl. The fucking best.
And Carl.
Your best buddy high school. Your best buddy from high school, Carl, gets picked.
I looked over at one point and said to my wife, "Look, if we're ever in that situation, you can eat me. Like, please do. Like, you're not going to offend me. Like, I'm not there anymore. That's
I
not
don't think
me.
I could.
Go ahead. You're going to need to.
I'm at that point. How
You're gonna
about
need
the
to.
fucking move? So there's a lot of big stories in this, but one of them is Javi's missing. Then they find Javi, and then Natalie pulls the card, so they're going to kill Natalie. But then Javi's trying to save Natalie, and then he falls through the fucking pond or the lake, and they end up pulling his ass out, and they end up eating him. And Travis is like, "What the fuck?" And then next thing you know, eats his heart.
He wants it with him.
He bit into his heart before it was even
Raw.
cooked. Raw
By
heart.
the way, you can't bite through that. Raw.
No?
It's solid muscle. You can't bite through that.
What if you were pissed?
You might be able to get it. It'd be very chewy. If you got like through an artery or something, or like a but you can't chew through that.
I'm with
That's
Jason in the
horseshit.
chat. They should have fucking fried up the coach a while ago. That
Why?
guy, yeah, he's an asshole.
Fucking guy.
Fucking guy, he stinks. Yeah. Let's see. So we don't know how they get rescued yet.
Not yet.
We don't know everybody who survived. Where there's at least one wild card, I think.
Who is?
I don't know who it's gonna be.
It's got to be Ben. I'm telling you, because he's hiding. My guess is he
Ben.
comes back. You'll see him again.
Yeah.
When they get rescued. Here's how I would write this. So like Ben disappears, right? So he's underneath the tree there.
Yep.
That's where Javi. So like it's weird. It's like this weird hot spring or something like that. So he can like live down there.
Yep.
He'll come out, eat what he's got to eat, and then he'll show up when they get rescued. But they can't like do anything to him when there's like other people there.
Yeah.
So there's like, I'm getting rescued too, and they're like, and he's probably don't say anything. If you say anything, like, I'll tell everybody everything.
I was gonna.
So once they touch down in New Jersey, whatever, he disappears.
Yeah. That's possible. That's definitely possible.
That's how I would write it.
But
he's out there.
Possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if he's scooting out of there, then he wouldn't be in like that final scene of them, like right before they do get rescued, and they're eating that other person and whatever else. All right, I'm gonna name a character. Tell me if you like them better as high school or adult or both equally as good.
Okay.
All right, which version of Shauna is better?
Adult.
I would say adult because she's excellent, but the younger one's grown on me completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, the adult's better.
And Thaisa, I would say I like the younger version just because the split personalities, like she's not fighting it.
Yeah, they're all great. But they're both great. I would go younger, and it's funny because that girl I don't really love in Scream, but she's great in this.
Yeah.
Van. We get
I like younger Van. I like younger Van.
Younger Van's good. Yeah, I would probably go young Van just because we've had 2 full seasons of young Van. Older Van we haven't gotten as much of. Also, kind of fucked up too. So Van, at least Thaisa knows that Van has cancer, and she says she only has a couple of months to live, which is such a mind fuck because she survived the plane crash when she really should have died, and then when she got mauled by wolves and should have died.
Yep.
And then it's like, and now fucking cancer.
And this is what, and then she survived her friends.
Correct. Oh, good point. She pulled a bunch of deck of cards and survived that.
And this is what's going to take her out. Like all of that.
Fucked.
Yeah.
Natalie.
Push.
It is. And so that girl, the young Natalie, is in The Boogeyman coming out this weekend. That's her. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that she's both are excellent.
So I didn't take a deep dive into this, but apparently Juliette Lewis was not thrilled with the arc of her character. And
really,
I don't know if it's just because she's probably done and not on future seasons, or if she, because one of the things was like, of all the characters, I don't know if Natalie would have allowed like Javi to like take her place. Like that seems a little out of character for her, and she probably seems like through it all the actual best person.
But I think in the moment that Natalie is like, if I save him, they kill me.
I gotta survive.
No, but like if he dies, he dies, and then we'll do that. We'll deal with that. But like if I save him, they're gonna kill me.
I could see that. You gotta survive it. Misty, definitely Christina Ricci.
Oh my god,
yeah. Lottie.
I like young Lottie.
I like young Lottie too.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I was also wondering, who do you think the best soccer player was out of the group?
Depends on the position. Depends on what position they played. I think Van's a good goalie. I think
Van's a goalie.
Ty plays defense.
Yeah, and Jackie was the captain, but
so Jackie, the glory hog, probably a striker, probably a forward.
Yeah.
I see, Shauna's back on defense. I say Natalie's like a winger.
Yep.
Like a midfielder. Who else we got? Lottie's like another like center mid.
Yeah. All right. So what do you think of the cops in this season? So
this is what pissed me off. This is the thing that pissed me off.
So especially Matt, the other cop with the mustache,
like the mustache cop, like he's just
trying to bait Callie. I agree.
And Callie herself was annoying.
So one thing I liked about Callie more this season than last season, because she was so mean to her mom. Like she was so like over the top mean to her mom, that at least some of those skills, for lack of a better word, she was able to use on the police officers and like defend her mom a little bit. Because all we saw was her being just rude to her parents. And then she kind of flipped that, and I think is at least sympathetic to her mom now, where she wasn't before.
Yeah, and I think that once because there's that conversation she has, like she's like, I know what mom went through, and she's like, well, you don't know the whole thing. When he starts telling about the baby, and she's like, she's like, I had a sister. He's like, no, you had a brother.
Yeah,
like you don't know that, like what went on. And I think to some point, like he doesn't even know what went on out there.
No, I don't think so. He knows enough. That was the whole blackmail story in the first season, but he definitely doesn't know all of it. So this season, and I understand, like you need stuff going on in the present day. Like you need conflict in the present day. Otherwise, I guess there's no show. But so you have Shauna covering up a murder. She killed Adam Martin. So that's like a big storyline throughout. Although I'll tell you,
it had Misty and Nat help her.
Yes.
Yep.
And then that brings in Elijah Wood's character of Walter, who on the one hand, I really, really liked. I actually liked him. That is an online community where people try to solve crimes. We've seen enough documentaries and podcasts about it, but Misty and Elijah and the two of them together, I think is great. The one problem I had with it is at the very end, he turned into like a cheat code. Like it was just,
and
he tied up that whole storyline so easily where you're like, God damn it. Okay.
And not only that, but like I needed to rewind it to say what are you talking about?
Right.
Because
So
somehow he was going to pin the death of Kevin on the other cop.
I think he threatened him with that, but he was
Yeah.
like, what I'm gonna do is like Kevin is yeah, right. But they're pinning Adam Martin and the fake journalist that Misty killed both on Kevin.
Yes.
But it was like, God damn it, like they'd set this up for so long, and
That's what pissed me off. They set this up for episodes, like whole episodes.
Yeah.
Like in the present day, they were setting this up, and then it just ended within like 30 seconds.
And that was my problem. And I would have been the only person in America probably to give it a 6 out of 6. And then it was the last episode that was like, fuck, I can't.
And as soon as he handed Kevin tea, I was like, he poisoned him.
Oh,
I actually said it out loud. It's like he poisoned him.
Oh, that was obvious. Yeah, he definitely poisoned him. But then it was actually pretty funny with Jeff because Jeff's like, "What the fuck is going on?" He's like, "Can you just help me with this?" And like, so I like the Walter character.
Yes.
But then at the end, it was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna like you guys wrote this without like a real ending in plan, so like just have Walter fix it." Similarly, in the woods, when Shauna's daughter Callie shows up, and the girl that was really sympathetic to Natalie shows up at like the exact same time, and then you get this fucking shoot stab thing, and I'm like, this is such a thing that happens in TV shows and movies. I'm gonna kill this person. Oh, quick move, I kill the wrong person. I hate that. I hate that fucking thing. That seems kind of lazy.
And it would have been it was out of character for maybe it wasn't, but for Misty to get so upset about it. But it was funny that she said like I feel like Natalie hated her. And she's like, I killed my best friend.
Yeah.
She's like, she's not your best friend.
No. None of them like Misty at all.
Right.
And you can understand why. Misty.
Do you think they ever find out what Misty did with the recorder?
No.
I think they do.
You think they do?
I think they do. I think Misty's going to go next, and I think someone's going to find out what she did.
Wait, do what with the recorder? You mean like
remember she smashed the black box?
Oh, yeah. And
because Misty was helping, and like people liked her, and she was
and
like,
she killed a teammate. She also fucking kind of rigged like that whole scene upstairs at the cabin where she's like, "Hey, Lottie, like we're good, like we're gonna eat this person." She's like, "That's not what the fuck I meant." So she was like, so they all fell for Lottie as like Lottie's the leader. Lottie got this bear for us.
And the other thing too that like I didn't like was that the okie doke, like we're gonna have Lottie committed, and then there was like the anti double cross. Like they decided not to double cross, but then double crossed Shauna by not double crossing Lottie. Like that was
triple cross.
Yeah, the old undouble cross.
Classic triple cross.
Which is that was a single cross.
Just got crossed up. Is what happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean there was, but I wonder if they knew everything that Misty did. I wonder if they would ever even talk to her in like present day. I know they clearly don't like her, but like I feel like they would hate her for fucking even more, or they might even kill her.
Who, Misty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if Shauna knew that Misty was the reason why they got stuck there, I think she'd fucking
Shauna. I think Shauna finds she's definitely killing Misty.
She would kill her. Yeah, the hunting shit is crazy. The pulling of the cards crazy. Also, the Jackie stuff. This is early in season 2.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad
that happened so long. I feel like that was season 1, but it wasn't. It was this one. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they brought her back because that girl is a good actress and she was perfect for this show and for all the stuff and like playing that role. And to bring her back, but just more fucking stuff for Shauna, where she's like spending so much time with her, putting makeup on her. Like having
and then her ear falls off, and then she keeps it, and then like nibbles it a little bit.
Having full-on conversation,
have a little bit of a nibble,
just sneaking a little extra Carl when no one's looking.
Exactly.
Well, that was like the girl that had the mouse, and the whole time you're thinking that the mouse is alive and she's a pet mouse, and I'm like, how are you gonna feed the mouse?
Like, how are they gonna Green Mile this thing?
Nope, that was dead for a long time.
And why don't you just eat it then? Like they go to just eat it, just put it over the fire.
The other big question with this show is all the shit that goes on just in their heads, because this is probably the most traumatic situation you could possibly have, or is there a supernatural element here, like the that Lottie talks about, or some of the images that we see in the present or the flashbacks? Is there anything like that?
No, I think this is just what grief and trauma is like personified. Like I think when something like that happens to you, you have to rationalize it in some way, or you have to like almost like get through it some way. Like you need help. And so like because there's that, because they're starting to see remember there was like that random ass girl. There's like so many like teammates, like I don't even know their names.
That's what I'm saying. So we got to get
Yeah.
the names of these.
Remember the one that was like
awesome.
it was started like bleeding through the walls. She's like she's hearing the drip, and then Ty was like, I hear it too.
Yeah.
And then it was like just blood in the walls. Like I feel like some of what you're seeing isn't real.
Yeah,
And it's them like processing trauma, you know.
Well, it's trauma. It's
and
also
grief and
hunger. Like they haven't eaten, and then when they do eat, it's a person. It's like it's
But man, I'm gonna tell you, hot take, look kind of good. The meat hunks that they were bringing, they look good.
Oh yeah, and then she got like a little to-go box for Lottie upstairs, like little squares.
Yeah,
you could probably
pretty good.
That. If you're like, oh no, dude, it's bear. You're like, oh fuck it. Like in The Last of Us, remember? They're like, deer again. Like you got another deer.
More deer. What was I gonna say?
So the Cult of Lottie, that kind of fizzled. Like that was like a thing, but they weren't really doing anything wrong. It was just like,
and then now they put it on Nat, which is she's like, I was never the leader. Like you've been the leader this whole time. Like
so that's the other thing that kind of bums me out. So there's this big reveal that the like Antler Queen or whatever you want to call her shifts from Lottie to Nat. Nat's not going to take this on, and who knows if she's going to be like, I don't know if she's the one at the end, like when they have that original flashback, or what the deal is with that. But I feel like it's a real missed opportunity to have us learn that now and then kill off the Juliette Lewis version. Because don't you want to see like her reacting to doing shit now and like knowing what we know over there? Like that's kind of the fun of it, is like ping ponging back and forth, like seeing what Shauna goes through and then jumping back to her present day.
It was actually cool to see. Now I know why Nat is the way that she is, because way that she was, like, you know, drug addict, like whatever. It's because she's the one who was responsible for all of this stuff.
Crazy.
And now I don't know if that's the case anymore. I don't know if it's going to shift to somebody else.
Yeah.
If she's like, at some point, she's like, I don't want to do this.
I just feel like that was a real miss. Like I have no problem with shows killing off characters, because I mean we complain about, you know, Stranger Things never does it, and like other shows never do it. But like I thought that was an odd one to get rid of her. All right, this is always a good question when it comes to Yellowjackets. What in your mind was the most fucked up thing from the season?
I think just the birth scene, which was pretty hard to watch. And then the fever dream of them like eating the baby. Oh, but also like there was a lot of things, but like
so those are both good ones, obviously. Mine that like made me audibly gasp was when Shauna was trying to like get over what had happened to her, and then Lottie was like, no, like she needs this, like let her go. And Shauna just beat the fuck out of Lottie, and all the girls just watched her, and it was like an MMA fight that didn't get stopped. It was just like ground and pound, and she just got destroyed. Like you thought she was gonna die, but she had so much rage in her, and she was like kicking her in the ribs, and then she punched her face like 100 times, and she just like, got all of her rage out on her, and they all watched, and like they were all creeped out except for Misty, who was like, oh no shit, I like this. But that was wild, like because one of them
sorry, go ahead. It was very like Fight Club, Jared Leto scene.
It was very Fight Club, and because one of them had made a either Lottie or Shauna on like present day made a comment about like, well, like, you know, people don't really know like all this shit that like happened to like what we did to each other. And at that point you're like, all right, you mean like you ate a few people, like, which is fucked. But like, no, there was also that, and like that probably took Lottie the rest of the time there to like physically recover from that beating. That was insane.
Here's the thing. So we have not, this is going to sound bad.
Bubbles has a good one. Everything with Jackie's a good point. That was good.
Yeah, it was pretty horrifying. It was when they were talking, and then they would do the cut to like the corpse Jackie.
Amazing.
That was every time it was creepy.
That is good horror shit.
Or when they realized that she was like putting fucking makeup on her and stuff. Like they came out and like found that was pretty.
That was bananas.
Whew. Do you think? Hear me out.
Yep.
What if like they just started taking like pieces of each other and not actually killing each other? So like underneath the mom outfits, they're just all hacked up, and like Shauna's the one who did it. She's like, I could take this piece of you and like not kill you.
Oh my god. Well, I'm trying to think if we've seen any of them in like shorts or like skirts or anything. Yeah, because like they might be. It's possible.
Yeah, little piece of you took us. Like
Because
this
if
little
there's
piece.
like how many bodies do they need to get through another? Let's even call it 10 months.
I mean, you figure there's people who like live. If you shoot a deer,
yeah,
like you can get through a winter with a deer.
Oh, okay.
Like how much meat? Like
Javi was not that big of a dude, but man, that is fucked. Yeah, so
on average, a white-tailed deer will feed around 214 people, assuming one serving per person. Furthermore, a white-tailed deer can feed a single person for nearly 71 days on 3 meals a day.
Oh Jesus! And you don't need to eat 3 meals a day.
You do not.
Fucking spread that out. All right, there you go.
Yep. Now you get people who are like
yeah.
roughly the size of a deer.
So I wonder what's going to happen next, because they got to get back to Thaisa. Like, isn't she the senator still? Like
still, technically, yeah.
Kind of moved on from that.
And her wife is like dead or almost dead.
In the hospital, right?
Yeah. Her son's out there by himself. Like, who knows where he is?
I don't know. I don't think the writers do either. They kind of moved on from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder where they go with this. I don't know. Like if they're gonna do 2 or 3 more seasons, yeah, the Juliette Lewis thing kind of bums me out. I really don't understand why they.
No, and I would say for me,
and Lottie. Oh, so Lottie is going back to like a mental institute.
Yeah.
And Misty is just out and about doing her thing with Walter. Shauna just goes right back with Jeff and Callie.
Mm-hmm.
Ty and Van, maybe it'd be cool if they were together, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Or for how long, right?
Yeah, right.
And yeah, and like Misty's cleared of they just ruled what's Nat's death an overdose.
Yeah.
So she's clear to that. So she's coming out squeaky clean. And I love the Misty where she's just like, if you just do what I tell you to do, like this will be fine. Like, why isn't anyone listening to me?
Yeah.
Right. She's like so self-possessed, like getting things correctly.
She's nuts.
But
So
she's nuts. They're all nuts.
She's killed at least 3 people
that we know of. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so who do you think is the most dangerous character? Is it Shauna?
Shauna.
Yeah, had that with it, no doubt. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she seems so normal.
That's the best.
That all serial killers do.
She's great.
Yeah.
Something about her voice too, which is like perfect.
She has like that high pitch kind
it's
of like soft
high,
voice.
Like I had like almost like a kindergarten teacher voice.
Yes.
And then you're like, she's literally cutting people's throats, cooking them.
Yeah, for real.
Awesome. All right. Anything else on Yellowjackets season 2?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, you had to do it one. I had to do it one time, right?
Yeah. So guys, let us know at Dork Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, email us dorkpodcast@gmail.com. What did you think of Yellowjackets, and where do you think they go from here? Hopefully they get picked up for a season 3, and I don't know. See,
I mean, this has got to be Showtime's only hit show right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Now that Shameless is gone, Ray Donovan's gone,
yeah.
Dexter's gone. I mean, this has to be like their only good thing they got going.
Yeah. But yeah,
there's a lot of horse shit on there. I tell you, if you go to Showtime's app, there's a lot of oof.
There's worse shit in the fucking news. All right.
Pick of the bomb. Pick of the bomb. Pick of the bomb. Pick of the
bomb. All right. Would you like to kick, receive, defer, or you may choose at this time to defend a goal?
I will take the ball this time too. As I said, I left this out of the video game minute specifically to be my pick of the pod. We have 2 monster games coming out this week. So one of the things I tell them, TV is like almost too much. Like games are now almost too much. Breath of the Wild. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom comes out this last week or 2 weeks ago. This week, Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4 come out. So pick them there. I mean, you can only play one of these games as far as I'm concerned. So it's just too much. It's just too much. So these 3 games, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I started replaying Spider-Man again, which is super, super fun. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do now, man.
I know.
Like I pre-ordered Diablo, Street Fighter 6. I'm obviously going to get that, but I'm going to play it on my PC because I have my fight stick on my PC.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, those are my pickies.
Love it. How about this? If you're looking for a movie on Netflix, Missing. The movie Missing. The synopsis: when her mother disappears while on vacation in Colombia with a new boyfriend, June's search for answers is hindered by international red tape. Stuck thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, June creatively uses all the latest technology at her fingertips to try to help her find her before it's too late. Blah, 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 blah. It's real. I think people are either going to love how it's shot or they're going to immediately hate it. And without giving you too many spoilers, it's a lot of like, you see the screen. So like if she's on FaceTime, you see the FaceTime. If she's typing in the thing, you see like the church. So it's like a lot of, security cameras, things like that. Right. So it's a uniquely shot movie, which I like. It's
almost like a found footage kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. There's no, blurry cam or anything, but it's a little bit like that. I thought it was cool. I got sucked in immediately. It was one of those ones I put on. I'm like, if I don't like this in 10 minutes, I'm out. And I watched the whole thing. So
nice.
It's on Netflix right now called Missing. All right, that'll do it for us. Next week, I think you should leave season 3. Then we got to do Across the Spider-Verse because that also comes out this week. We didn't even fucking mention that.
What are we gonna do?
Too much fucking shit.
Too much shit to do. My God.
Shit on me. I can't breathe. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as well. YouTube.com/Dork Podcast. We stream these episodes live on Sunday nights. You can go back and watch them at your leisure as well. And hit us up with some shit I have bought this also. Right, you don't give a shit about anything, do you?
What'd you say?
I said you don't give a shit about anything, do you?
Not really.